नमः शिवाय सांब सदाशिव नमः शिवाय शंभो शंभो शंकर नमः शिवाय सांब सदाशिव नमः शिवाय शंभो शंकर नमः शिवाय चिदंबरेश नमः शिवाय चिदंबरेश नमः शिवाय सांब सदाशिव नमः शिवाय सांब सदाशिव नमः शिवाय शंभो शंभो शंकर नमः शिवाय सांब सदाशिव नमः शिवाय शंभो शंकर नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिवाय।
परब्रह्मणः प्रातः स्मरणम्।
शंकर गुरो जय शंकर गुरो शंकर गुरो जय शंकर गुरो शंकर भगवत्पाद शंकर गुरो शंकर गुरो जय।
हरि ओम। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Page 147, 10th mantra. इंद्रियेभ्यः पराह्यर्थाः अर्थेभ्यश्च परं मनः मनसस्तु परा बुद्धिः बुद्धेरात्मा महान् परः. Last time we saw that the indriyas, jnanendriya and karmendriya, put together are called indriyas. How many are the jnanendriyas, organs of perception? 5. How many are the karmendriyas? 5. Subtler than the organs of perception are the objects that the organs of perception perceive. The reason the objects are titled here, because of the memory which whips these organs of perception to perceive and run for, work towards, in attaining them, if you like it. If you don't like that world, then it is the same memory which pushes you away from the experience. So that which has the capacity to push the organs of perception and action towards or away from should be subtler than the organs of perception and action. Indriyebhya parahyartha. Arthebhyascha param manah. Subtler than this is the equipment called mind. Subtler than this mind, manasastu para buddhihi. Buddhi, intellect. Now, whenever we talk about mind and intellect, because we come with various background and conditionings of the words that we use and the meaning that we associate with it. When we use mind and intellect in Vedantic reference, one has to be clear as to what is being referred to. Mind is the seat of emotions. So whenever you have severe tsunami of emotions, like for example, when there is somebody that you very dearly love and they're going away, say for a 1 year study or wherever, they're moving out of the place, and you know you're going to miss them, where do you feel like a heavy stone, like a burden? Do you feel it here? Here? Where do you feel it? Right here, at the center of your chest. So whenever there is a disturbance, you say that my mind is not okay. My heart is, we place our hand here. And whenever there is some critical issue, analytical issue, whether it is with your pen or with your hand, where do you scratch the most? On your bottom of your foot? Like you have gone through that ledger, say 6, 7 or 17 times, 20 times, there's still a discrepancy of $3. And you are like, where am I going wrong? So where do you start putting your hand? You're like, So where is the processing being done? The buddhi, the intellect. So physically, the heart is here and the intellect is here. Supposed to be. That's one physical difference. The intellect is the process, is the place where processing, analysis, decision making occurs. Now, another subtle difference: memory, as mentioned earlier, mind, intellect, all of these are nothing but made of thought. All of these are made of thought. What is yogurt made of? Milk. There is milk, then there is yogurt, which is nothing but a converted format of the same milk with some live bacteria, and it changes. What is ice cream made of? Milk again. Different formats of the same thing. And if I have to go into something more, scientific, have you heard of isomers in chemistry? So what is an isomer? So when you put it, it appears like it is a mirror image. So what does it mean? It has the same empirical formula, but whereas the structural formula is different, which means that when you use these isomers, they react differently for different environments. Though empirically they are same, not same, similar. Because structurally they are different, meaning their functionality changes. Similarly, the memory, mind, and intellect are nothing but made of thought. Like the ice cream, yogurt, and milk are nothing but milk in different formats. The functionality changes. So the thought is the basic building block of memory, mind, and intellect. Memory is static. Mind is constant movement of thoughts. And most of the time, directionless. Through all organs of perception action, this mind is trying to run out into the world. Multidimensional, constant flow of thoughts is mind. There is not a direction to it. Wobbling, constantly having fickleness to it. That texture of fickleness is called mind. It was Sunday, you did not have Balavihar, so you went out and you had a long day, and you just came back in time. You had your shower, and then you're tired, basically. And you're like in two minds. Should I go to the class today or should I watch it online? Should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? That wobbling nature, texture is mind. Confused is the mind. That is its status. So when people say, my mind is confused, congratulations, you have a functioning instrument. Because that is its nature. Constantly to be in the state of flux. But then you have made a firm decision. Today, I will not go to the class. Or today, I will go to the class. Whatever be the decision. Once the decision is made, that texture of thought which is of a decisive nature is called intellect. Up until then, the same thought was having a dichotomy, having its polarities. But made a firm decision towards one direction, then it becomes an intellect. Another subtle aspect is Do you know this? It's of this size, green in color. It has a little, where you break it off from the little plant. It is often spicy. Jalapeno. So I was giving you the description of it, and you came up with the name. Right? This is the functional aspect of mind. Let me be more specific. Mind functions in the realm of known objects. What is this? How much time did it take for us to get the answer? The moment you heard it, you answered. It seems like it was instant. The answer was instant. But the processing was happening with a rapid speed. That with the ears you heard it, with the eyes you saw it, and the question was understood. Then you went into your database. And against your database, you referred. Where did I experience this kind of a thing? What could it be named as? And then immediately you ascertained that yes, this is a book. What is this? Pen. Sharp mind. The moment I ask, you are like, fatak, answer is there. What is this? A microphone. Wow. Awesome. You can do a sabashi to yourself. What is this? Bunch of keys. What is this on that bunch of key? A car key. See, this is more being specific, right? That you immediately took the image of it. You had the audio relating to that. And then in your memory, you scanned through. What could it be? Where have I used it? Various platforms where I must have used it. There is approximately closer to. And you are making a lot of assumptions here. That if it is in the bunch of keychain, it must be relating to the car because the car keys. There are so many tags that are going in. And then you come to an assertiveness transcending the vagueness. Because it is in the realm of known. And the mind functions in the realm of known. It is kind of round, and it has got a tangy taste to it, sometimes sweet. See, I was giving you various hints, and you came up with the answer, orange. So if I tell you a name, you're readily visualizing a form, and if I give you a form, you're readily recognizing its name. So the name and the forms that we have already registered, experienced, the mind functions in the realm of known. Now what is the intellect? Have you ever eaten damadakaduchi? You've not eaten. You're all born and brought up here, right? You still have not eaten damadakaduchi. Your entire life is wasted. The moment I asked you the question, what is damadakaduchi? Have you eaten it? What was the reaction in your head? What the heck is that? He's saying it is something edible. Or is it fruit? Is it something which is cooked? Is it a processed canned thing, or is it available in the produce section, or is it a specific thing that you get in a specific specialized store? Which country is it from? What kind of cuisine is it? Did you get all these questions? I'm just trying to read your minds right now. In the realm of an unknown, wherein I do not know what it is, but I would like to know what it is, I would investigate into the field of unknown. So why is the intellect subtler than the mind? One, the mind is of the texture of uncertainty, whereas the intellect is the texture of certainty. Mind works in the field of realm, whereas the intellect functions, investigates into identifying even the realm unknown. World I can recognize. The cosmos I can recognize. Various aspects of this world I can recognize. Mind functions. God. Oh my God. It's a very abstract thing. What is God? Who is God? Seeing is believing. Show me God and I'll believe it. Bewkoof. If God is shown to you, you don't need belief. It is a fact. Right? Belief is required when you do not have a first-hand experience. Once you have a first-hand experience, you don't need belief. It's a fact. Let me make that statement clearer. Fire burns. Is it a belief or a fact? For how many of you is it a belief? We'll make experiments on you. For how many of you is it a fact? Wow, everyone. Pyromaniacs. Fire burns. I believe fire can burn. No, I know fire burns. Right? It comes with that assertiveness of experience. God. And whenever we say God, the different forms, shapes, attributes that we gather in our head, it is a conditioning of what we have seen in a photograph, in a statue, in an idol, in a pratima, in a mandir. Right? We have seen those forms. Immediately my mind says God means that. There are those who are skeptical. Once, instead of saying skeptical, my tongue did not twist properly, and I said, sometimes we are skeptical. So we are skeptical. God, I don't believe in such concepts. I'm an atheist. Oh, that's a good place to start with. Why? You at least know where you stand. It's better than I'm confused. Because the confused do not have the belief system. The atheist has a belief system. And what is the belief system? I believe in the non-existence of God. Even for the atheist, God, the concept of God is required to negate it. How would you negate God if there is no concept of God? And when the scriptures take that discussion, that God who is all pervading, permeating, all powerful is the very core of our being. I am, I exist, I can hear, see, smell, taste, touch. Because of the presence of that consciousness, when the scripture is indicating, it is not that I have a clear idea of it, a clear experience of it, but there is a vague understanding. I think I kind of get it, but I don't get it either. Because it is not a part of my experience yet, but I kind of get it. Like this particular instrument will function when it is plugged in. So that which is enlivening this electronics is the electricity. I don't see it, but its presence is felt. Similarly, I've seen a dead body. There is no seeing, there is no hearing, there is no smelling, there is no tasting, there is no touch. All the instruments are there. Sometimes it is scary because they are dead and their eyes are open. So what do? Shut those lids. Enough of seeing the world. You're done with it now. The ears are open, but there is no hearing happening. They're not asleep. That because of which the ear functions, the hearing happens. That spark plug is gone. That core of our existence is called God. I still don't get it, but I kind of get it. Because you are processing, trying to investigate into that which is unknown. Because of this subtlety of its nature, because of this sharpness of its nature, subtle and sharp, the intellect is subtler than, greater than the mind. Now, many people get confused because they got too literally into Vedanta. I said, but the brain is what all this. It's all connections, the nerve, the neurons, and the connectivity between them, and the chemicals that are acting up. It's all brain. So many people, what is the difference between a brain and a mind and an intellect? Mind and intellect, is it clear? What is the difference? So the way I would put it for the ease of vocabulary is brain is the hardware. Brain is the hardware. Intellect is the processor. Mind is the operating system. The interface. If I go technically into the computer language, it is called GUI. Do you know what is GUI? Graphic user interface. Back end to the front end. Right? That is what the mind does. It is an operating system which connects you with the different aspects of the world outside and synchronizes it. Memory is a CMOS chip. What is CMOS chip? Go figure it out. Meaning one is a very gross expression, that is the brain. For somebody who is dead, the brain, the gray and white matter, is still between the 2 ears. And for all those who claim seeing is believing, do you believe that this is a phone and I'm holding it in my hand? Yes or no? Good. This is a bookmark. Do you believe that this is a bookmark and I'm holding a bookmark? You have a brain? Show. Seeing is believing, right? Have you seen your own brain? No. With your own logic, there is something between the ears. It is not a hollow space. Yes, you can knock. If you find that it's a hollow sound. No, it is not. There's brain, and that gray and white matter is still there in a dead person, but it is non-functional. It is like when the battery, the juice is gone. The computer is there. The hard disk space is there. Why is it not functioning? That which powers it is not there. Right? The brain is a hardware. The mind and intellect are the software. Does it give a vague clarity? Because it's abstract. That's the best that I can do is point you towards it. Clear? What is subtler than buddhi? Buddher atma mahan paraha. Mahat is subtler than buddhi. Now, what is mahat? It's a very, again, abstract term. We all have buddhi. At least let us assume we have a buddhi. Because you are all like, we have buddhi. Let me put it this way. The processing of my buddhi through these concepts, I am picking the choicest words, trying to convey this concept, individual buddhi. All of you, though individually sitting, processing with your intellect, trying to understand, grasp this concept, when collectively react, you are not conscious, you are not organizing it to happen, but while processing the concept, when collectively there is a reaction, say that again, come again, what do you say? Can you kind of repeat it again slowly? When that kind of a knitted brow, and you're like, and there is that look on your face. Collectively, there is that kind of look. Then I'm like, I must have said something too fast or too complicated. Let me rewind. Let me break it up into smaller sections. Explain it with certain examples. So there is a collective reaction. So what is that collective reaction? Totality of your intellects put together are reacting. Are you getting it? Individual intellect, the total intellect. That's why I can't work. I don't want to work in a dark environment with PowerPoints. because my individual intellect feeds off of the collective reaction to ascertain if what I'm speaking is understood or not understood. And sometimes the concept becomes so heavy that the heaviness of the concept starts pulling your eyelids down. Huh? Huh? So then I say, okay, it's a time for me to take a break, introduce a joke, narrate something wherein freshens it up, and the totality again is ready. As soon as I gave this example, as you were laughing, you were checking it out. Anybody sleeping? You laughed at the concept and then you laugh at the reality. And it's funny when sometimes husband and wife come to listen to the talks. And husband is like, he's not saying yes to my concept. I agree. I agree. No. He's not becoming too introvert, going in and in and in. I should see the awkwardness of the wife. Is still trying to put a straight face, looking at the speaker from behind one of the hand, trying to grab the other hand, twist, pinch, poke. And the husband is so engrossed in the sleep that the dusts off the hand and then still goes back. There is individuality, then there is totality. Individual, we understand. Totality mind, I gave you a concept. Mahat means the totality. Obama, about 6 years ago, was an individual, right? Stood for elections. And he was serious about it. Unlike some jokers who stand up for presidential candidates, Trump and others. And what do you call a statement? Somebody who makes a statement that I also escaped, being captured in Vietnam by not going. Oh, wow, what an intelligent fellow! And you want to be the head of the totality? Thanks, but no thanks. He was serious. And the entire totality of US, majority of it, elected him to represent the totality. You understand now the concept of totality? And the totality represented by him, because he could resonate with that totality and promise that totality a certain direction. Therefore, he could garner enough support to become the representative of that totality, and becoming the representative of that totality, he became powerful. Isn't it? President, the first person of this country. There is a fleet of airlines dedicated for him, fleet of cars dedicated, fleet of offices, right? Powerful. Any information is on the tip of his fingers. It could be the Chancellor of Germany also. They eavesdropped there to gather information. Powerful. Knowing the totality elects. See, for one reason, you could call M.K. Gandhi as a real Mahatma. Why? There are all splintered efforts being put towards free India. What did he do? He gathered them together into one totality and give a direction to that totality. When we ask, pay attention now. When we ask, why is this world like this? Do you like it? Yeah. So, pat your back. You don't like this world? Kick yourself. Why? You are an integral part of the totality, and as all these minds put together, come together, demand the world around is given by the nature in meeting the demand of the totality. Are you getting the concept? If what we see is not appreciated, is not liked, where should the change come from? From the outside or from the inside? When the integral part of this totality is contributing to that totality, when all these individual blocks building that totality change, the texture of their demand is changed, then the environment outside changes. That is how nature, as they say in economics, demand and supply. As the totality demands, the supply is that way. Therefore, the scriptures have always said, you change and the world around you changes. At various levels, it is true. See, initially, they become a part of Chinmay mission. Why? I call that process as called brownification process. The children are behaving too alien to the Indian culture. So what do the parents do? Gather them up and throw them in a system called Bala Vihar. Brownification process. That is the intent of the parents. Very clearly you can see it. Because they are not interested in that themselves. स्वामी हमारा क्या होगा, बच्चों को ठीक करो ना. We are beyond repair. Kids, handle them. By mistake, sometimes you step inside, listen to what is being given. Interesting. Now, interesting is an interesting word. There is good interesting, there is bad interesting, there is indifferent interesting, there is disgust interesting. For all these different expressions, there is interesting. Swamiji, how is the food? Interesting. Interesting, interesting, or interesting, interesting, interesting. So they come inside, right? And then they said, okay, last week may have been a mistake. Let me check out next week also. They sit through. Pretty good actually, you know. Then something that is being discussed hits a home run. And I said, yes, you know, I think I should start bringing that change. If I want this as important aspect of my children and their growth, I should also be a integral part of it. Up until then, bring to Balavihar, then go to party, have cards, you know, drink some, eat some, and that was the priority. As this starts becoming priority, many people who say, स्वामी जी अब उन चीजों में मन नहीं रहा, those things no more find a attractive interest. The participation in it starts reducing. There is a mocking period that you, in the earlier circle that you would interact with, because now you started coming to Chinmay Mission. As soon as you go into that group, Babaji aage, Hariom, Hariom Babaji, they get teased. And they make a drink and give it, I'll pass. Oh yeah? You pass? Earlier you were like, no, and now suddenly, I'll pass. I'll have some lemonade. Can I spike it up a little? No. Little bit. No. And then start becoming conscious about their living, you know, interacting with the world outside, what they eat, how they, various things. You changed. And suddenly people that you are interacting with, seeing that you no more are at the same attunement with that environment, stop calling you to those parties, stop inviting you, and you are left as an acquaintance. And as that is dropping, there is a newer circle that is developing, that you now, you know, go to a movie, it is the quest. You have evening get-togethers, it is satsang, it is puja, chanting, bhajan groups. You go out for an picnic excursion or some kind of a new place. Earlier it was Venice, and now it is Kailash. The group and environment, everything starts changing. You change and the world around you changes. Imagine that such individuals gathering together, that was Gurudev's idea. That teach the individuals, when group of such individuals come together, making an impact on themselves as well as the world around them, the textural quality of their life and their living around changes. So the totality changes. So this collective, which is more powerful, more pervasive than the individual. See, as long as he is representing the totality, he has all power, all knowledge, all wealth at his disposal. In another year and a half, he'll relinquish, year and a half, right? Whatever time, it's running short now. You can see the trend. If there are less of policies and more of legacies, that means they are winding up. So as he steps out of that office, what happens? All that power is no more there. Its totality is powerful, pervasive. Individuality, it does not have anything comparable to that totality. So that totality is subtler than, greater than the individual. That totality of this cosmos is called Mahat. It is also known as Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha, the totality, the name of that totality is in Sanskritam is Mahat or Hiranyagarbha. Now, what is subtler than this Hiranyagarbha? That we will see next week, because I was intimated that there will be some questions that people want to ask. If you want to ask your questions from wherever you are viewing, you can send it to Ramesh's Gmail or Google Hangout or his phone number or the group me, whatever you have. Be quick. We have about 8 minutes to answer your questions. I mean, as they start typing it in, do you guys have any questions? Wow. Oh, good. Yes. So his question is, if mind is functioning in the realm of known, what are dreams? Dreams are nothing but an extension of that mind functioning in the realm of known. Now what happens? That this mind weaves a world inside, the dream world, with various impressions. Most probably, unfulfilled desires of the waking world. There is nothing restricting there. You go elaborate and freak out in the field of your dream. Invariably, those who are diabetic love sweets. So how is a diabetic's dream? So they are in a vacation where there is ocean of kheer waving through to the shores of halwa, shira. And there are mountains of laddus. Where you are dancing hula hoops of jalebi. Around your neck hanging are gulab jamun and rasgulla mala. Right? That is unfulfilled desires aspect. But sometimes these impressions which get imprinted in our subconscious or the memory aspect, in the earlier days when there were these analog photography wherein you have taken, but the film the negative, got exposed in the same frame 2-3 times. So when you take the positive, when you take a printout, you see that it is somebody's head, somebody's tail, somebody's body, somebody, it is like mismatch, right? So in your dream world, it often happens. Like in the waking world, you have seen that there is a Madari. Madari is a fellow who plays with, orchestrates the monkey dance or monkey show, monkey business. You watched it, and you go home, sleep. So what do you see? I mean, if a sannyasi like me saw that, went home, had nice sumptuous meal, slept, and what am I dreaming? That a monkey is sitting on the platform and speaking, and a sannyasi is wearing the cap and raising funds as a monkey job, monkey business. Mismatched. Sometimes that too happens. There are certain aspects of our, are there questions coming in? Sometimes within this realm, there are these flashes of unknown which reflect. They are not considered as dreams, but they are considered as vision. Mantra, scriptures, God, Tirtha Kshetra, and Guru. When these come, it is not a dream, but it is that consciousness which is revealing itself in that realm as a guidance. Very rarely it happens, but by mistake sometimes it does happen. Quick. It is a memory.
But the memory is registered because of the intellect. You can understand that particular thing, the object in front of you. That is why you register it. So your mind is not working. The intellect that is revealed there.
No. See, whether the mind is working or the intellect is working is the question asked in the memory aspect. Many times the intellect need not function, but the memory is always happening. That is why we listen to a lot of things, but we don't understand, but still it is retained. So we said, Shravanam Kritva Mananam Kuryat. After having heard it, there are so many things that may not have been clear, but still registered. So registration process of the memory aspect need not necessarily be completely channelized, processed impact. That which is not understood also can be registered. That is what jumbles up in the dream. Let me see if there are questions there. We can discuss it.
What's the difference, if there's a difference, between total intellect described in this mantra as Maha and the total mind covered by Guruji in Shiva Sankalpa?
What is the difference, if any, between the total mind and the total intellect? Now, if you go into page 150, 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph, beyond the intellect is the great self. There, Gurudev himself says, the great self is what we have so far discussed in our earlier lectures as the total mind or the total intellect, the Hiranyagarbha, which means what Shiva Sankalpa Sutra Guruji explained as total mind and what here is being discussed as the total intellect are semantics. It's a totality. That's why I did not mention whether it was a total mind or a total intellect. I just said it was the totality, samashti. So you can, sometimes the scriptures which call it as total mind, total intellect, they still are pointing towards the Hiranyagarbha, the totality. Next question.
Which instrument is used to realize the absolute?
Which instrument is used to realize the absolute truth? Turn to page number 155. There is a 13th mantra which talks about it, as to which instrument is used to realize the absolute truth. If you have patience, wait till we get there. If you don't have patience, read through the meaning given. All the best. We'll anyway cover that topic. Any other question? Good. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.